Hare Krishna. Welcome all of you for the second day of My Sweet Lord. We are all eagerly waiting to welcome our sweet Lord into our heart on Janmashtami Day. Actually, we all must remember how and why Janmashtami is very special in our life. In fact, the great acharyas have mentioned Janmashtami as one of the very, very important vrata to be followed in our life. It is said that if somebody observes Ekadashi, Ekadashi is called vrata. Ekadashi vrata, the 11th day of waxing and waning moon. And it is said that a great amount of pious and purification and blessings of the Lord we receive just by following Ekadashi Vrata. And if somebody follows Chaturmasya, it is said that the lakhs and lakhs of Ekadashi Vrata result we get simply by following one Chaturmasya Vrata. And it is confirmed in the scriptures that by following one Janmashtami, simply by celebrating one Janmashtami Vrata, one Janmashtami festival, you will get the benefit of great that we cannot miss. It is because the material world is like an anatha-ashrama, orphanage, and who live in anatha-ashrama? You see, in Sanskrit, Natha means there is some guardian like father, mother, somebody is there to look after you. Anatha means practically there is nobody to take care of you. There's nobody to take care of us. Such a situation is called anatha. And such people, where they stay, that place is called anatha-ashrama. The material world is actually a very huge, big anatha-ashrama, where millions and billions of us are living and there is nobody to take care of us. And we are suffering because there's nobody to take care of us. We are all suffering. And when Krishna, who is Krishna? Pitaham asya jagato mata dhata pitamaha. I'm your father. I'm your mother. I'm your grandfather. Not only that, Suhridam Sarva Bhutanam. Krishna says, I'm your best well-wisher. He comes for you. Because he comes for our sake to take us back to home. Imagine somebody comes to take us from anatha-ashrama to home. Such an important day in our life. We are all suffering. Dukkhalayam ashashvatam. There is so much of suffering in our life. At least in present day, we can experience how COVID-19 has taken over the world and we are all going through suffering. It is because we are all in anatha-ashrama. And if we are under the care of Krishna, if we are under the care of the Supreme Lord, all well-wishing Lord, if he comes to take care of us and take us back to the home, and where is the home? Goloka Vrindavana, Golokera Premadhana, Harinama Sankirtana. In the Goloka, that is our eternal home, where Krishna lives, where that is my original place. And Krishna comes to take us back to that place. And that coming of Krishna with great amount of love, with so much of mercy, with so much of care for us is a very, very important part of our life. And that is Janmashtami. Janmashtami is not some festival where we distribute some chocolates and some cake and we just forget it. No, this event can be a life-turning event in our life, provided we actually observe it and take it seriously. And this year, folk has decided to make Janmashtami very special in all your lives. And how? 30 days that we celebrate Janmashtami, prepare our consciousness to go back to Krishna, to reach Krishna. That is why we have launched this journey to Janmashtami, 30 steps to reach Krishna. Simply follow the activities planned in the folk and be a part of it, participate, and you will see how we all will reach Krishna, and Krishna will take us back to the home, to Goloka Vrindavana. And one of that activity is this My Sweet Lord. 30 loving exchanges that Krishna had with his dear devotees. We are going to discuss and hear about them on daily basis to develop, to enhance our attraction to Krishna. So today we are on the second day, and today's topic is extremely heart-melting, loving exchange of Lord Krishna. And what is that? The witness, the Sakshi. Sakshi means witness. Today, we are going to discuss how the Supreme Lord Krishna, our ever well-wisher, he can walk for you hundreds of miles out of love. Just see, today we'll talk about that. Let us all start today's session with a wonderful prayer that appears in Chaitanya Charitamrita. It is said that Padyabhyam Chalanya Pratima Swarupo. Padbhyam, pada, pada means our legs, right? Padbhyam, chalan means walking. Padbhyam, chalan, ya pratima swarupo. In Sanskrit, pratima means the deity, the vigraha. The deity or vigraha is called pratima. Padbhyam, chalan, ya pratima swarupo. Oh my dear Krishna, you are in the form of the deity, pratima. But Padbhyam chalan, even though you're a deity with your own legs, the deity legs, you walked all the way. Brahmanya devo hi shatam gamyam. It is said that Krishna walked not 10 minutes, not half an hour, not 1 hour. You see, sometimes my mother used to ask me at home, can you please go to the shop and purchase this for me? And I have to walk and go to the shop. And I would say, no, who will walk so far? It is so far, I have to walk. And my mother would say, no, it is very nearby. Please go and get this. And I would think, so far, who will walk? I hope that many of you had this experience. We will always think, okay, I have to go there. So far, who will go? Forget about going. And here it is about walking. And it is not some next cross, next area, next home that we have to walk. Krishna, here it is said that Brahmanya Devo hi Shatam Gamyam. He walked for 100 days. 100 days Lord Krishna walked for his devotee. Desham yayo viprakrite. Desham. Not that he was walking like an ant and in small place. Desham, he crossed villages after villages, cities after cities, towns after towns, states after state. He walked thousands of kilometers. 100 days Krishna walked for his devotees. Adbhutam. And this is the most wonderful pastime that Krishna performed. Tam Sakshi Gopalam. He says, Pranatosmi. Hey Krishna, who is in the form of the Sakshi Gopal, I offer my obeisances to you. Pranatosmi. Pranataha means my obeisances I offer to you, because you, just to give Sakshi, just to bear witness, you traveled 100 days, thousands of kilometers. And this is the prayer. Padbhyam chalanna ya pratimaswaropo brahmanya devo hi shatam gamyam desham yayo viprakrite adbhutam tam sakshi gopalam pranatosmi. This is the prayer. So it's a very interesting pastime. Without much delay, I would like to narrate this pastime to all of you. In fact, this pastime has been recorded by a great Acharya, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, in Chaitanya Charitamrita. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally heard this pastime and he was extremely happy about it. What is that? There was a place by name Vidyanagar in South India. And this place, Vidyanagar, Srila Prabhupada says, is a place where a lot of nice devotees used to live in this place. So two devotees, Vaishnavas, they decided to visit different holy places of India and visit them, take bath there and perform devotional service like that. Because the part of devotees' life is to visit the holy places. And in the olden days, when this pastime took place, people would go by walk, especially to far off places. Months together they would walk, and they would take great amount of difficulties and austerities to visit all these places. So the two devotees, the two Brahmana devotees, we are not talking about caste Brahmanas. When I say Brahmana, it means qualified devotees. So the two Brahmana devotees, they decided to go and visit these places. And they visited Gaya, they went to Kashi. In Gaya, there is a Vishnu Pada, the Lord's lotus feet are present. So they had bath there, they worshipped, they offered prayers to Vishnu Pada, and then they went to Kashi, they had the darshan of Lord Vishwanath, they had darshan of Bindu Madhava, and then from there they went to Prayag, they took bath in Triveni Sangama, and finally they reached Vrindavana, Braj. And in this Tirtha Yatra that they had been to, out of the two devotees, one of the devotee was an older Brahmana and the other one was a younger Brahmana. So, when an old man and a young man, when they go together, it will not be the same, speed. The old man will have lots of problems, health problem, and he can't be having the same speed. He'll have different requirements. The old man will not be able to digest the food that young man eats. So like this. But the young devotee, the young Brahmana, he personally attended to all the requirements of the old Brahmana, even though both of them did not know each other. They're from the same town, but they didn't know, they're not relatives. But the young Brahmana, out of his own good devotee attitude, he took care of the old Brahmana wherever he went together. And both of them reached Vrindavana, and they did Govardhana Parikrama, and they visited the 12 forests of Vrindavana, like Kamyavana, Talavana, all these places. And finally they reached the most important place, that is Vrindavana. And in Vrindavana, there is one place called Panchakroshi Vrindavana. That is a place where there was a beautiful, magnificent temple of Gopal was there. Krishna is called Gopal. In Vrindavana, that was the business of Lord Krishna. What was he doing? He was taking care of the cows. Because in Sanskrit, the cows are called go. You know that goes means cows. Pala. Pala means the one who takes care. Because Krishna was doing the job, he was called Gopal. And that was the activity of Krishna in Vrindavan. So there was a very beautiful and magnificent temple of Lord Krishna called Gopal. And these two devotees, they stayed in that temple. They went to Yamuna river, Keshi Ghat, and they took bath, and they came and they had darshan, and they were flabbergasted by seeing the beauty of the Lord, the beautiful face, right? Krishna is extremely beautiful. Yam Shama Sundaram. Krishna is so attractive that Kandarpa Koti Kamaniya Vishesha Shobham. Krishna's beauty is so much that even thousands and millions of the Kandarpa, that means the Manmatha, they all get attracted to Krishna. Kandarpa Koti Kamaniya Vishesha Shobham. Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. They were so happy. They were so satisfied to have the darshan of Gopal. And when they were staying in the temple of Gopal, the old Brahmana, the devotee of Lord Krishna, his heart was melted by the service of this younger Brahmana. He was so touched, moved by the service attitude of this young devotee, the Brahmana devotee. He actually thought in his mind, in this world, in this material world, in today's generation, who will take care of another person like that? Especially when you go on to a tour like this, taking care of yourself itself is a big deal, right? You have to take care of your food, take care of your health, and so many things. And now, not only taking care of himself, he is taking care of me, even though we have no connection. And his heart was very much touched by this. So he comes to this young devotee and he tells, my dear young Brahmana, I'm so happy. I'm touched by your great service. So I have decided to offer my daughter in marriage to you. So I'm agreeing that I will hand over my daughter in marriage to you. I'll do Kanyadana. And then when young Brahmana heard this, he immediately said, oh my dear sir, please don't do this kind of a promise, because whatever service I've done that as a devotion to Krishna, because it is said, Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha. It is said that Krishna is Brahmanya Devaya, and you are a devotee, you are a Brahmana, you are such a nice devotee of Krishna. And if I do service to the devotees, and that will be the greatest benediction upon me. In the Shastras it is said, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Gopi Bhartrupada Kamalayor Dasa Dasana Dasa. Becoming devotee of Krishna is not so nice. But if you can become a devotee, servant of a Krishna's devotee, that is even more important. It is even more bigger. So you are a devotee of Krishna. I have done service to you just to make Krishna happy. I have not done any service expecting something from you. And the old Brahmana was even more convinced. Look, this man is so nice, and I must give my daughter in marriage to this man. And he said, look, my dear Brahmana boy, please don't worry. I'm not, thinking like a businessman. I'm really happy with you. I want to give my daughter to you in marriage. And then the young Brahmana said, my dear sir, please don't talk like this. I'm not so rich like you, and you are extremely educated. You're very aristocratic, and your friends and relatives and your family members, they don't agree to this kind of a marriage proposal. Please don't talk all these things. Then the old man said, no, my dear Brahmana, my dear devotee, don't worry. It is okay. I know that you are not as rich as I am. I know that you are not as educated as I am, but you are a very nice devotee. You have all the good qualities. So I want to hand over my daughter in marriage to you. Then again, the young man said, sir, I understand that you are impressed with me, but please don't think, in this kind of a scenario and make any promise, because your own family member may not agree. Don't you think that you should take their opinion and make this kind of a promise? Then the old man said, no, why should I consider? She's my daughter. I can make decision for her, and I am making promise that I will give her in marriage to you. Once we return back to our place, Vidyanagar, then finally the young Brahmana said, okay sir, if you are making such a promise, then do one thing. Please make this promise in front of the Gopal deity, Lord Krishna, in the altar. And let Krishna be the Sakshi. Let Krishna be the witness. And then the old man said, okay, come on. And then both of them stood in front of the Gopal deity. And the old man, he told Lord Krishna, my dear Lord Gopal, hey Krishna, hey Gopal, I make this promise in front of you that after I return to my home, I return to my place, I will give my daughter in marriage to this young Brahmana. And he made this promise. And then the young Brahmana, the devotee of Krishna, he said, my dear Krishna, hey Gopal, now you are part of this promise. If tomorrow anything goes wrong, I will call you. You may have to come. So my dear Lord, please be aware of this. You see, the most important point that we have to notice here, how the devotees, they make Krishna part of their life. You see, God is not something once in a blue moon we remember and we forget. Actually, the Vedic culture is that Krishna, the Supreme Lord, is part of our life. Whenever you make an important promises in your life or important decisions in your life, we involve some very near and dear people, right? We say, okay, my marriage is happening. I should call my important people to this. Like that, the devotees, whatever is happening in their life, they want to involve the Supreme Lord into it because Krishna is part of their life. They cannot think of their life without Krishna. Krishna is very much part of their life. So because that young Brahmana and the old Brahmana, both of them are very nice devotees, they're very good Vaishnavas, whatever they want to do, they want Krishna to be part of it. You see? And so the young Brahmana said, see, my dear Lord, you are part of this agreement. I remember when my sister's marriage was taking place, some of the important, very close relatives were also part of it. Because we know tomorrow, if we need any support, all these people who are part of this, they will come and they will help us. So that's how we all work, right? So the devotees, they want Krishna to be part of their life. So in this way, they made the promise and both of them returned back to the hometown. So after they came back to their hometown, Vidyanagar, the old Brahmana, he started getting worried. Now that he has reached home, now that he's seeing his wife's face and the son, and he was little worried. What will happen now that I made promise in front of Gopal? Now I can't just keep quiet. I think I have to discuss this with my family members. So he calls all the family members and he actually reveals, look, I have made a promise. I've told this that I will marry my daughter to him, and I've told this in holy place, that too in Vrindavan, in front of Krishna, the Gopal. And then the family members got extremely disappointed. They got so angry. They said, have you gone crazy? Do you know what is our standard? Do you know what is our status? And you have promised to marry our daughter, my sister, to that poor, destitute, that Brahmana? It is impossible. We will never agree to this. And then the wife and the brother of that girl, they called all the relatives and they all discussed and they threatened this old Brahmana devotee. This is impossible. If you ever try to think once again like this, we will cut off our relationship. We can never accept this marriage proposal. Whatever you promised, we don't care, but it is not acceptable. And Brahmana was, no, how can I break my promise? I made this promise in front of Gopal, in front of Krishna. And they said, then finally, the mother of the girl and the brother of the girl, that means the wife and the son of this Brahmana devotee, they said, if you plan to fulfill your promise, if you ever think of fulfilling your promise by marrying this girl to that young Brahmana, we will drink poison and we will give up our life and we will never let this happen. And the devotee was totally, broken, and he was in a dilemma. Oh Krishna, what will I do? One side I promised in front of you, and the other side my family members are threatening me like this. What do I do? And then the son said, don't worry. If at all that boy comes and reminds you, oh, you made that promise and where is the marriage? You just tell him that I don't remember. Don't tell lies. I understand you can't tell lies. Just tell that I don't remember. That's what you tell, and remaining thing I'll take care. So the Brahmana was really, going through turmoil. How do I handle this situation? And then after a few days, the young Brahmana came. He said, my dear sir, please accept my humble obeisances. Do you remember both of us went together to all the places, and in Vrindavan, you made that promise. I have come to remind you, not because I'm interested in the marriage, because you have made that promise in front of Krishna. So I have come to remind you. So can you please tell me, when will you marry your daughter to me? And then the old man, he was just worried. Now what will I answer to him? And he was silent. He didn't answer anything. And then he was silent. He didn't answer anything. The son of this Brahmana devotee, he came with a stick. He said, you fool, you rascal, you try to take advantage of my father and you come and ask for marriage. I will beat you. In this way, that young Brahmana ran away from the home. And he goes back and he calls all the village people and some of the heads of the villages, and calls all of them and for a meeting, and he says, look, this man, this old man, he promised me, and now he's saying that he cannot do this. Please, I want all of you to sort this out. And the village heads asked him, oh old Brahmana, is this true that you made this promise to this boy? And then the old Brahmana said, I don't exactly remember, something like this, like that. And then immediately the son and all other relatives, they started accusing. And the son in fact said, this young fellow, when he went with my father, he kind of gave intoxicant to my father and he robbed my father, took away all the money, and now he's saying that my father promised. This is all unacceptable. My dear village people, please understand, we are very rich people and this boy is a poor person. You know, this poor people, they get tempted by seeing all this wealth and all that. So he's trying to take advantage of our situation and simply making a drama. And all the village people believe this explanation. Yeah, it is quite possible, you know, sometimes this poor people may get tempted like that. Then this young boy, he got so hurt by hearing this. He said, my dear village, my dear people, please let me speak something. This old man is a very nice devotee. I know he's a great devotee, and because of the family influence, because these family members have threatened that they will die, so out of that fear he's hesitating. But let me tell you, this old man, he has made promise in front of Krishna, Gopal. And it's not just between him and me. It is actually, there is one more person, and that is Krishna. And you know, if Krishna is there, how can he deny this? Then immediately that son who was trying to twist and tweak the entire situation, he immediately goes, oh, is it so? If that Krishna in Vrindavan, if he comes here, if he tells that he is the witness for the whole promise, then I will agree. Then immediately even Brahman also said, yes, if Krishna from Vrindavana comes here, if he tells the whole thing, then we will agree. Their whole thinking was, how can Krishna, that too in the form of a Archa Vigraha, how can come? First of all, Vrindavan and Vidyanagar, that is in South India, 2000 kilometer distance it is. It is not some half kilometer, 100 meters. It is not like that. It is not some walkable distance. It is 2000 kilometers. And how will Krishna come? It is impossible. And first of all, even if Krishna, just think about it. How can a deity come? It is not possible. So they said, if Krishna comes, we will agree. Then we will agree for this marriage. Then this devotee who had complete faith in Krishna. You know, devotee is one of the qualities that they have complete faith. Avashya rakshibe Krishna vishwasa iti palana. One of the symptom of a surrendered devotee is that Krishna will surely protect me. Avashya rakshibe Krishna. So they don't have any doubt. So this devotee said, okay, fine. I will get Krishna because Krishna is part of this promise. And he got this agreement signed by all the villagers, and this devotee comes to Vrindavan. I'm extremely sorry, I'm little exceeding the time today, but I will just quickly finish as early as possible. So this devotee walks to Vrindavan, and then he comes to the temple, Gopal, and he says, my dear Lord, hey Krishna, Krishnaya Vasudevaya, Devaki Nandanaya cha, Nanda Gopa Kumaraya, Govindaya Namo Namaha. He offered prayers. He said, hey Krishna, hey Nanda Gopa Kumara, hey Vasudeva, please listen. You are part of this arrangement. You know what was the promise. And now, please, they're all saying that if you come, and then only they listen. Hey Krishna, please, I'm not coming and asking you because I want to marry. I'm worried that he made promise in front of you. How can he actually break that promise? And what will happen to devotees? Brahmanical principle, if he does not keep his words. Hey Krishna, please come. And he was very genuine and sincere about his purpose. And when Lord Krishna heard this prayer from his devotee, Krishna, who's in the form of the deity, he spoke. He said, my dear Brahmana, I understood. I've heard the whole thing. Don't worry. Please go back to your village. I will appear. You call for a meeting, call all the people. I will appear in the meeting and I will tell you, and I will tell everyone what happened in Vrindavan. Don't worry. Please go back. It is something adbhutam, because Krishna in the form of the deity is speaking. And the Brahmana said, hey Krishna, even though you appear there, and you speak, nobody's going to take you seriously. They are very people with no faith. And Krishna, they are saying that you as Gopal has to come there, not simply appear there somehow and you speak. You in the form of the deity they want. And Krishna said, oh my dear devotee, what are you saying? Have you ever heard that deity walks? Then the Brahmana devotee said, Krishna, if the deity can speak, why can't you walk? And Krishna was very pleased by hearing this logic of his devotee. He said, my dear devotee, don't worry. I will come. I will walk. I will come behind you and I will help you. You made me part of your life. You made me part of your marriage. You made me part of the promise. I will not leave you. Kaunteya pratijanahi name bhaktya pranashyati. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Kaunteya pratijanahi name bhaktya pranashyati. I will never let my devotees, get lost into the trouble, Krishna says. And it is his promise. So Krishna always keeps his promise, right? So Krishna said, I will come. It's Paramadbhutam. The deity is saying that I will come. And the Krishna, the Gopal, who was in the form of the deity, told, but I'm a deity. When I appear as a deity in the temple, they're taking care of me. And if I come behind you, how will you take care? I know it is very difficult to take care of me, especially when you're walking. So at least one thing you should do. Every day, you should cook 1 kg of rice and you should offer to me, and then you should take prasadam. And then Krishna told, you keep walking, I'll come behind you. And when I come behind you, you will know that I'm coming behind you, because when I walk, my anklet, the anklet that people wear on their leg. So that in Hindi it is called payal. When I walk, that my anklet tinkling, that's the bell sound will come, and you know that I'm walking behind you. And my dear devotee, please don't look back. If you look back, wherever you look back, I will stay there. So you walk, I will come to your place. In this way, the devotee next day, after offering prayers, after offering all the worship, he started walking. And when he started walking, he started singing the glories. Hey Krishna, how great are you? I know that you're Supreme Lord. I know you don't have to do all those things, but you are doing this because you are Bhakta Vatsala. You care for your devotees. You know how much devotees are important to you. So you're walking in this way. The Brahmana devotee was so thankful, grateful, and he was offering prayers from Srimad Bhagavatam, chanting holy names, and he was walking. And Krishna, the Gopal, he was walking behind this Brahmana just to bear the witness, to bear not ordinary witness, bear divine witness. And he was walking and walking. And how many days? Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 10, 100 days they walked all the way from Vrindavan to Vidyanagar to South India. And all the 100 days Krishna was walking. You see, Krishna is a Supreme Lord. He's not some ordinary person, right? And if Krishna wants, the big demigods, Brahma, Indra, all such demigods are ready to worship him. Lakshmi Sahasrashata Sambhrama Sevyamanam. Krishna is worshipped by thousands of goddess of fortunes. Such a great person. He's walking. Imagine if Prime Minister of this country walks with you for 100 days. Imagine that Donald Trump, the President of America, walks with you for 100 days. For what? They have their own flight. And when they come with so much of entourage. Their own car, their own flight, they own all those things. That's the opulence of an ordinary president of this material world. Imagine Krishna, the Supreme Lord. What is less for him? Such Supreme Lord Krishna was walking just for sake of his devotee out of love. Bhaktyamam abhijanati. Krishna says only out of bhakti, out of love I can do anything. Right? To prove this fact, Krishna was walking. Why he was walking? He wants to tell the whole world how he can do anything for his devotees, even though he's a supreme Lord. So Krishna was walking 100 days. And in this way, finally they reached the Vidyanagar, the place, the town Vidyanagar outskirts. And then Brahmana thought, and he said, now that Krishna has reached here, let me call all the people. And he turned back, and Krishna was standing there, Gopal, and he was smiling. He said, hey, my dear devotee, hey Brahmana, go and call all the people. In the form of the deity that I walked all the way from Vrindavan, I will give Sakshi. Courts, when they're hearing any cases, they call, who is the witness, whom will you bring as a witness, and who like that. And we have to take people to Supreme Court, to High Court. High Court is in Bangalore, Supreme Court is in Delhi. We have to take people. You can't tell the judge, please come here. But actually here, the Krishna, like an ordinary person, walked all the way from Vrindavan to the so-called Supreme Court of that village, Vidyanagar, just to give witness for his devotee. And he goes and brings all the people, and all the people come, and the moment they see Krishna, so beautiful, Alola Chandra Kalasad Vanamalya Vamshi Ratnangadam Pranaya Keli Kalavilasam Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. When they saw Krishna has walked, he has walked all the way just to give witness, they were astonished. They were surprised. Their heart melted. They all immediately fell at the feet of Gopal. And they said, hey Gopal, you're not Gopal, you're Sakshi Gopal. You have come all the way just to give Sakshi, and you are the Supreme Lord, Karuna Sindhu. Only out of unlimited mercy you can walk like this. And they all fell at the feet of Gopal, and they begged forgiveness for making him walk like this out of their foolishness. And they all offered prayers. And Krishna spoke. He said, listen, it is a fact that the older Brahmana made promise in front of me to marry his daughter to this younger Brahmana. I urge all of you to honor these words. And happily everyone agreed. And older Brahmana thanked Krishna so much for this wonderful, astonishing, heart-melting, loving pastime, just for the pleasure of all these devotees. And finally the marriage took place. So this is the pastime that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard from Nityananda Prabhu. And when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard this, he just started crying. He said, my dear Lord, Krishna, Nanda Gopa Kumaraya, you have performed all this pastime for your devotees. How kind are you? How merciful are you to your devotees, hey Krishna, like this. So we all, when we hear this pastime, we must know that Krishna, very soon he's going to make his divine appearance on Janmashtami. He is ready to walk for you. Not walk for you, walk along with you in your life. Just for you, for anything that you want. And he is available. We must prepare ourselves. And for that we have to do all these 30 days of activities that folk is offering all of you, offering tulasi leaves and offering flowers and whatever is coming, the devotees have planned. Simply by following, you will invite Krishna in your heart, into your heart, and you will see how Krishna will walk with you always in your life. There's no more wondrous than this activity that Krishna, who is Gopal, became Sakshi Gopal, the divine witness. So this is the today's loving, heart-melting pastime of my sweet Lord. Thank you so much for spending your precious time hearing this wonderful pastime. Hope to see you tomorrow in another sweet pastime, how Lord Krishna made his devotees so glorious. Tomorrow we will meet again and discuss another sweet pastime of Lord Krishna. Hare Krishna.